Hey guys, Nick here and welcome back to another video. So Nikon has just announced a bunch of new products, a couple of lenses, a new camera, and a battery grip. So I thought I'd do a quick video about my thoughts on the whole thing. Considering I shoot with the Nikon Z6, kind of made sense. So we're going to start with the Nikon Z50 or Z50, which is a new APS-C sensor size mirrorless camera that they have just announced. And this is the one I'm probably the most excited about in regards to what they've announced, because this APS-C size mirrorless camera retains the Z mount that the full frame cameras use, rather than utilizing a different mount, which I was concerned that they might do. That means that if you have a Z6 and you've started buying some Z mount glass, you can actually start attaching it to this APS-C size camera. So great for people that want, like a cheaper second camera to shoot with. So let's take a look at some of the specs for that Z50. So it is a 20.9 megapixel DX sensor, so APS-C. It also shoots 4K at up to 30 frames a second, as well as 120 frames per second in 1080. No crop on the sensor, apart from obviously the 1.5 crop that it already has as standard. It also has a 2.36 million dot OLED viewfinder, which is awesome to have. I know, like, when you have a look at, say, like the A6400 or the 6600, it has that tiny little EVF off to like the left-hand side of the camera. This one has it just like the Z6 or the Z7, so that's really great, and it's a good size. Like, it's really good to see. It does make the camera look a little bit bigger, but I mean, in terms of ergonomics, it's going to be much better to use. It has ISO up to 51,200, which is pretty standard for APS-C cameras these days. It can also shoot up to 11 frames a second, which is great if you shoot sports. And I think it can also do like 30 frames a second if you downsample to like 8 megapixel photos. So, I mean, it's good there if you want to shoot some high frame rate stuff. It also retains that sort of hybrid AF that the Z6 and Z7 use. However, it has lower phase detect points. So I think it's like 209 points as opposed to, I think it's like 250 or something with the Z6. So it's not going to be as good. It also covers a little bit less of the sensor. I think they said something like 85% vertical and horizontal. So still good coverage, just not great. And it has the IAF as well, which I've been really enjoying with my Z6. And like I said, I think the best part about this is that it uses the Z mount. Now, they did announce a couple of DX lenses to go with it, DX being, crop sensor APS-C. So we have like a kit, which is like a 16 to 55 or something like that. So you sort of standard 24 to 70, and then we have like a 55 to 300 or something crazy like that, which is going to be your telephoto. Now, the camera doesn't actually have IBIS, which kind of sucks, but I guess, if you're trying to cut costs, it's sort of one of the things they drop. But the DX lenses have their VR mode in there, so like if you use the DX lenses, you're going to get a pretty stable shot. Now, if you choose not to, then you're not going to have any sort of stabilization there unless you decide to use the electronic stabilization. But again, I don't think that's such a big deal. Now, when you look at the cost of the Z50, it's about $1,000, give or take a few dollars here or there for the kit. So we're talking the Z50 with the 16 to 55. If you look at like other cameras on the market, that's pretty much direct comparison to the A6400 with a kit lens. So you can see exactly where they're coming in at the market. I think, considering how new the Z mount is, I think potentially that's still quite a lot of money. The Z6 themselves are actually selling quite cheap at the moment. So I think only for an extra $800 or so, you could probably pick up like a Z6 body. And considering the size difference between the two, when there's not a big difference, it's almost like you might as well get the Z6. But I mean, I'm still really excited that Nikon has decided to go down this road and invest in the smaller sensor size ecosystem, as well as retaining the new mount as well, which means we're going to get some great lenses and some great compatibility, because it will mean you can use your F-mount glass as well with the FTZ adapter. Now, the camera looks great in terms of ergonomics. Like I said, it just looks like a slightly smaller Z6, and if you've seen any of my other videos on the Z6, you know I love the ergonomics and the feel of this camera. Looks like the Z50 is going to be pretty much the same in that regard, and I can't wait to pick one up and shoot with it. It does have a better flip screen. It flips down, so you can sort of vlog with it if that's something you want to do. It's kind of like a halfway happy sort of scenario.
Halfway happy.
Really, we want the flip out if you want to vlog, but flip down, look, we'll take what we can get. At least the microphone won't get in the way, just the tripod. My biggest complaint about the Z50, and it's going to be weird that this is a complaint, is the fact that they use SD cards to store the files on. And my complaint is that a lot of people might get the Z50 to complement their Z6 or Z7, and with the Z6, Z7, you use XQD or CF Express, which you won't be able to use on the Z50. So that's, you know, that's a little bit annoying. It also has a new battery, so you can't use any of the batteries with the Z6 or Z7. So, you know, little bits here and there, but not big issues really. I guess more people have SD cards than XQD cards, so again, small complaint there. So I'm actually really excited about the Z50. I can't wait to pick one up and, you know, shoot with it and see how it goes. I think it could be a really great addition to the Z6, especially if you're video shooters, so you can have multiple cameras. One thing I've always been jealous about with the Sony systems is the fact that you can pick up your A7 III or R4 or whatever, your big full frame mirrorless body, and then get a cheaper APS-C camera for your B cam. Well, we can now do that if you shoot with Nikon, which is awesome. Now, they did obviously announce a couple of lenses, like I mentioned, the DX lenses, which I think will be I think the kit lens is probably the one to go for, because you're gonna get the stabilization and the good zoom range as well. They are variable f-stop, but that's fine for kit lenses. They also finally released the 50mm f.95 nocked lens. That's like $8,000. I don't know how many people are gonna go out and get that, but leave a comment if you want me to rent that lens and shoot with it. I mean, I don't know how good it would be, but it'd be interesting and a fun video, I'm sure. And last but not least, they finally, and I say finally because it's been almost 18 months since the Z6 was announced, released a battery grip for the Z6 and the Z7. But it's kind of like, again, halfway happy because there are no buttons on this battery grip. It is purely and solely just for extra battery life. The big feature here is that it is a hot swappable battery grip, so you can access the batteries from either side of the grip, so you can continuously shoot and then replace batteries as they die without having to turn the camera on and off. So that is really, really handy. But again, no buttons on there, so shooting vertically is still gonna be awkward. In fact, even more awkward now, because you're not gonna have, it's a halfway happy scenario. The fact that Nikon has released this, now hopefully third-party manufacturers can get their hands on it and start developing their own with buttons. That'd be really good to see. It's been a good week for Nikon shooters, because now we've got an extra kit. I'm really excited to get my hands, like I said, on the Z50, and if you guys want me to, I'll try rent the 50mm, because I ain't dropping 8K on that bad boy. If you enjoyed this video, guys, make sure you leave a comment down below. Thumbs up if you liked it, and yeah, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. But until the next one, guys, see ya.